how many divorces are we talking about? 25 years as a divorce attorney.
Yeah. I really should run that calculation. I mean, I have the records that I could run it because I'm asked it sometimes. I mean, it has to be in the thousands now because I always have at least, and now my career is more selective. Like when it started, I really represented anyone. I mean, whoever would hire me. I was not one of those attorneys who was born into a family of lawyers and, you know, like my colleague Laura Wasser in LA, who represents, you know, a lot of celebrities and things like that. Her father was an incredibly successful divorce lawyer who represented celebrities, and she became a lawyer. By virtue of her connection to her father, she started having these clients and then became, you know, is a phenomenal attorney by any metric. One might argue even better than her father. No insult to her father. She's just a phenomenal attorney. So she certainly wasn't handed anything that she did not deserve. But she had access to something. Like she didn't start out representing cops and teachers. You know, she started out representing and working on these kinds of cases. And there are other examples of that in New York and other jurisdictions. A lot of my colleagues, you know, I started out with nothing. I started out representing assigned people in the family court system where you're paid $25 an hour by the state. So that was how I started. And I built that into, you know, the practice that I've built it into. So those early years, I probably had 40 or 50 clients at a time because you had to make it up in volume somehow. Now I only have at any given time maybe 10 or 15 clients. I'm very selective about what cases I work on. The number of people that would like to work with me versus the number of people I am willing to work with it's much smaller. So I probably have 20 or 30 inquiries per week of people who'd like to work with me. I maybe do 3 or 4 consultations per week. I maybe take 2 new cases a month.
Right.
So
okay.
it's a very, like most people that are interested in working with me, I refer out to someone else and I don't work with. I only work on cases now that I think I would be particularly good for, where I would be useful for the case. It's less about what is economically, because if my client is worth $10 billion or my client's worth $100 million or my client's worth $500,000, I'm $850 an hour. So every case I'm working on, I'm getting paid exactly the same amount of money, which is $850 an hour for the number of hours that are in a day that I could work. So I don't really worry anymore about, you know, like, is it a case where I will be useful, you know? And if the answer is yes, then I take the case. So I would say at this point, the number of cases I'm handling at any given time is the lowest it's ever been. But there were times in my career where I had 8 or 9 associates and, you know, a whole army of lawyers, and we would handle, you know, a much larger number of cases. And I didn't enjoy that model as much because I'm very hands-on at my best. I'm kind of a control freak in that way. I'm sure you've never met a lawyer who's a control freak
Never.
before. I know, it's
What
very
does that
strange.
mean?
It's a very odd thing. I'll explain it to you at some point.
Please do.